Hi, I'm Becca.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And this is
Life in Quarters. We hope you enjoyed this mini episode.
This is part 2 of going through the questions in Exercise 2, Chapter 1 of the book that I got sent in the mail and am currently obsessed with. It's called How Great Ideas Happen, The Hidden Steps Behind Breakthrough Success, by George Newman. Okay, we're going to jump right in.
Wait. Should we give them a refresher? Should you read the little excerpt again, just in case somebody is jumping in on part 2 and then going to go back to part 1?
I think you should go to part 1 right now, if you haven't listened to part 1.
This is us forcing you to go to part 1.
Yeah. I'm not gonna subject everybody else who already listened to part 1 to listen to my 2-paragraph intro once again.
That's valid. That's valid as hell. I hadn't thought about that.
See, guys, I'm looking out for you.
Looking out for the go-getters.
All right, I am. All right, I think question 9 is mine.
Yeah.
Ask, right?
Yeah.
Okay, question 9. If you could join any creative community or movement from history, which one would you choose and why?
That's an insane question.
I already got one immediately.
What do you mean?
I already got one immediately.
Take it.
Okay?
Take it.
Number 1, I'm brown. Automatically, I'm not allowed in anything, okay? But...
That's rough, buddy.
But let's assume I'm not brown.
All right, heard.
Let's go back in time. Let's assume I'm not brown. Here's the thing, I would want to be part of one of those, like, writing groups. Like, one of those people who, like, I write books and I, like, stay at people's houses who sponsor starving artists, and I like sit by a creek and I write a book, but I'm really bad at spelling, not super great at punctuation. I don't know, I got a lot of challenges in this area. I'm not artistic. I don't have the patience for it. I don't do painting. I wish I did. There are a lot of creative things I wish I could do, but I couldn't. So, Emma, I feel like you could have joined any of these, and I don't even have to assume you're not brown because you are white. So you would just automatically be, I could be like your little buddy in that situation. You could be like, this is my maid. And then I could just follow you around.
This is my maid? Oh my
God.
God.
Like, ride your coattails. Like, that's what I would do. Like,
most unhinged answer you possibly could have.
No, it's a good plan. It's a good plan. It's a good plan. Like, I'm thinking.
I have to say something. Let me finish. Continue. I'm very serious.
I'm thinking like it reminds me of when we were in high school. Mm-hmm. And Emma was in the IB program, which is just like AP stuff on steroids.
Yeah,
it looked like a big waste of time to me. It was a lot of work. Looking in from the outside, and it also looked like way too much work, and I just didn't have time for that. I was too busy winning baton twirling championships.
Yeah, being a world champion, yes.
Yeah, I had things going on, but I was always around. You know why? Because all my friends were in IB. Was I in IB? No. I was an honorary IB member, though. I went to all the extra credit stuff that everyone did. I didn't even have those teachers.
You're so right.
I was just there. And you know what? That would be me. That would be me in whatever creative community or movement in history Emma ended up in. I'd just be there, too. I'd be like, go, Kylie, go. Like, that'd be me.
Go, Kylie, go. That was amazing. I'd like to offer you $1 million. Just that answer was everything to me. Because I also don't...
So, Emma, what creative community are we joining?
I don't even know. This is what I'm like, I don't know.
All right, I got one for you. I think the writer's one is the most interesting by far.
I think
and then I could have gardens to walk through in my free time.
Yeah, like what are you referencing?
Which would be a lot of
what
it.
are you referencing specifically? Is it in the books? You seem to have like an idea immediately because I kind of understand.
Yeah, well,
like there were like the communities, especially like in the Renaissance, and then also like the painting eras, like with like Toulouse-Lautrec, and then like if I'm mispronouncing artistic names, please forgive me. But like I'm thinking like Hemingway, like you know, like just like those people in general. Like there were definitely communities, but like what are you referencing specifically?
I'm thinking like, you know, in Shakespeare and Co. in Paris, where they're like, and writers would stay here and they'd write.
I see. Okay.
Love it. And then, like, that little cottage that Monet had.
Yeah.
And he just, like, did stuff there. And then I went to this other historical home, I think it was in Indiana, and they were like, and writers would come, artists would come and stay for a couple months and create beautiful things.
I love that. I'm thinking. No, I think the writing one would be amazing. Like, I think there's so many pros and cons to all of these, of course. Just going back in time sucks in general, as you've expressed so eloquently. It's not ideal. Like diseases, racism, prejudice, it's just sexism. It's just a bad time in general.
Heavy on the diseases.
Because I was actually going to say, like, potentially getting to, like, be in the acting company at the Globe Theater, like, when Shakespeare was alive and writing. Like, that sounds like so much fun because it was so chaotic. It was so deeply not prestigious. It was so much so, like, you get a script, you're up on your feet that day performing for the Queen, I guess. Like, it's, like... But then disease everywhere in the Globe Theater burned down, like, 3 times. But I think, like... Yeah, exactly. I was, like... There are faults, but I guess in my same way, when people ask me if I could return to any point in history, where would I go? I make the discrepancy of, like, am I safe? Am I immune to harm? And if they say yes, it's back to the dinosaurs. So I'm going to have the same rules here. I'm immune to harm. The Globe Theater, I think, would be really fun. I think getting to be, like, in those writing creative communities, like you said, I think that would be really, really cool. I think what's hard, though, is, like, so many of those artistic communities were so largely, like, just white men. And so, like, the people...
I was going to say pretentious.
Yeah.
And full of glass ceilings.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, I don't...
You know what, Emma? You could break those glass ceilings, and I'll be right there holding all of our stuff.
We're going to break them together. You just wouldn't get any credit for it because of racism.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, can I bring my husband?
I've got a white man right here.
Right. He'd be our bodyguard. He could do so much for us in that era.
Because I'm just thinking, like, I don't know if I'd like to be sitting in a room with, and I don't know if they're from the same era, let me be. Like, I don't know if I want to be sitting in a room with Hemingway, Salinger, and Bukowski. That sounds like hell, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Like, that sounds like the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to be in Shakespeare's company, but again, that's all men. They had men playing the women's parts.
Yeah.
Like, I think
that's not great.
No, that's like, that's a tough one.
We could both cross-dress.
Yeah, like she did in Shakespeare in Love.
And I'd be a protege.
I'm trying to think, like, again, I don't know. I would love to have, like a patron to be in the time of, like, the Renaissance where, like, artists' whole job was to be artists and rich people were like, we love that little guy. We love that little dude. We'd love them to be doing the art for us. So I guess...
Ooh, I feel like you'd run in the circles with, like, Jane Austen and Emily Dickinson.
Thank you. That's why I was like,
ladies.
They didn't really have a circle. That's what I was thinking, too. Because, like, if I got to work with, like, oh, you know what?
This is a question definitely written by a man. George Newman, he's a man.
I was just like, this book was written by a man.
This book was written by a man.
Is he a white man? Sounds like a white man.
I mean, George Newman, I'm going to look him up. I hope he's white. Otherwise, this would be really bad.
Otherwise, we have to apologize to George Newman.
Getting ahead of the apology if he's not a white man. Just take this as the apology if not a white man. But he's a man. He's a man. All right.
He's a man. No matter what.
And I think that adds in a context. Right. No matter what.
No matter what, he's a man. And truly, they're like, the patriarchy hurts men just as much as it hurts women. But like,
yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, you were raised a man. You've got implicit. Like, you've got learned sexism you got to work through.
We don't hold this against you. Number 9.
No, we don't hold it against
doesn't
you.
Work for us.
We just can't. We can't.
We're taking this we're being too serious about number 9. We're taking our safety too seriously. We can't. I guess we could be like, assuming we are both white men.
I'd say Shakespeare at the Globe Theater. That would be my final answer.
I think we should cut off question 9 and move on to question 10.
All right, I got it. Are you ready? If you could put a single creative work of yours in a time capsule for future generations, what would it be and why? That's an interesting
Journals.
question.
Easy. Done.
Ooh. Mine would be my poetry also.
I'm not picking one. They're a group. They're all besties, and they all have to stay together. So my journals, period.
Yeah.
Wrap it, ship it.
Yeah. I think it is undeniably my poetry, because ever since I started writing poetry, I have told a few friends that if I was ever to have an untimely demise, they would have to posthumously publish it for me. And I think that just answers the question. Honestly, I think that's...
Yep.
I think, yeah, this podcast. No, I actually think about the fact that, like, I am happy that for my loved ones, this podcast exists. Like, if anything, like, again, untimely were to happen, or like many generations from now, this is a time capsule thing, but like on a less grand scale, on less of a like world changing, life altering for like the masses. But like, what a beautiful keepsake of who we are for the people that love us for time to come. I think this one,
I agree.
Yeah, is a beautiful. And for us also, we were just talking about how our first episode of this season is going to be such a beautiful time capsule for when we turn 30. Like, we get a whole like dive into us turning 29, and like all first season getting to do that, look back on season 1. That was such a time capsule moment as well. Like genuinely, like I think this podcast would probably be, I think it would supersede poetry for me. It would be this podcast.
I have a keepsake box, so I think I'm gonna like put all of our episodes from season 1 onto a flash drive, and then put that flash drive in the keepsake box.
I think that's a great idea.
In a Ziploc bag. And then it's gonna go into my waterproof fire safe that I'm gonna get for my journals too.
I love that idea. That's excellent. Mm-hmm. That one was easy. Okay, question 11.
Awesome. Finally.
After question 9, we needed an easy one.
Okay, question 11. What's the best compliment you've ever received about something you created, and what did that compliment stick? And why did that compliment stick with you?
I have so many answers, and they've all left my brain.
I have so many answers pertaining to the podcast, actually. Like, actually,
Really?
I love getting DMs from people telling me that, like, my series on the no-buy inspired them, or, like, they started using my banking strategy, and, like, finally budgeting made sense to them. Like, things like that, oh my gosh, it fills my cup so much. And I'm like, yay, like, I always make sure to look at my videos, and even if they perform really awfully, if there are at least 10 saves, I just leave it up. I just leave it up, even if it's got like 1,000 views. Yeah. Like, I'm like, whatever. You know what? 10 people, they found value in it. They might come back to it. Probably not like a TikTok recipe, but like, you know what? I hope that someone got something out of this.
Yeah.
And then for the podcast, like, our close friends and family, even a coworker of mine, like, they came back with like, you know what? I really actually got a lot out of that podcast episode.
Yeah.
Like, it made me reflect, and it helped me realize this thing about my own life, and I feel like that's a compliment.
Yes,
like it's not like you rocked it, but it's a compliment for the podcast.
Yes, I think it totally works.
And then, what's the best compliment you've ever received about something you created? Yeah, I think that answers the question.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm like over here trying to like hold on to my thoughts as they're rapidly escaping me, because my ADHD is particularly brutal today, I will say. I think starting on the podcast, since that's what you were just talking about, like, I agree. Those compliments are so meaningful. And I guess like when we got the compliment about the settling versus soulmates one, and how it made the dating world feel less bleak, that was so meaningful to me. And I think that makes sense for us, because like back to the previous question, like what we want our creativity to bring into the world, that made someone feel less alone. Like, that was so meaningful to me. And I had someone recently also say that about the burnout episode, it was really, really meaningful to them, because they were feeling burnt out at the same time, and it gave them that space to do that. And it feels really great to know that like us existing and like being our authentic selves and like taking up space in that way is meaningful to people. It's such a pat, like, not pat on the back. It's like a reaffirming thing where it's like, oh yeah, just being myself is like, that's the lifeline of my creativity. Because I was going to say, the other compliments I've gotten kind of fall in line with that same feeling, where I got a compliment on my writing senior year of college, where my teacher was like, you already have a writing style. Like, and that's more than I can say about like a lot of like writers that exist like in the professional industry. Like, you have a style. It's very clear. And that meant a lot to me, because I think it was another like example of me being me and in that way. And then the first time I did like a comedic piece on stage was like, you hold attention, like you take the stage, like you have such a power to you. And like that too, I think it's interesting because like I so shy away from taking up space in so many ways, but actually the creative compliments that have meant the most to me have been the ones that are like, yeah, you took up that space, like you were such a force in that moment. And I think, I don't know, with my poetry, I don't think I don't know. That one, I just feel so honored when people have like a real emotional reaction to it. Like that's a compliment to me. Like, again, I think it's on that mission statement of like, I want people to feel less alone. And if someone is reading a poem that I wrote about myself, but in such an honest way that they have taken something and they are crying about their own life in that moment, I'm like, oh, I've captured something meaningful. And I think like with those compliments of being like, oh, you have a writing style. Oh, your podcast made me feel like seen in this way. Yeah, I think that's what's so meaningful about it. Like I had a director one time too, this was one of my favorite compliments, where they were like, because it was a student crew and the student crew was amazing, but the director said, you made me look really good in front of my students. Like they're going to think that I did a lot more than I actually did because you are just that good of an actor. And I was like,
oh,
I was like, wow. No, like he was so kind. He was like, I feel like Elia Kazan discovering Marlon Brando, which is like a big old deal. Like I was like, wow, that's so incredibly kind.
Was this the one in Texas?
Yes, the one I got flown out for. The one woman production, honestly. That one was really cool. He was like, I feel like I've like discovered like you. Like I got a first like a front row seat to like the trajectory of your career, and that was really cool. So I think, yeah, weirdly is like me taking up space.
I was gonna say that's the one. I was like, that's the one that I was thinking of when I saw this question for you. I was like, if Emma doesn't bring up Texas, like I gotta bring up Texas, because that one I remember when you got that compliment, and it was like, oh.
That was incredibly meaningful, especially like in the acting space, because the acting space is so much rejection and also so much like not giving people compliments. I feel like, I don't know why that is. I feel like other actors are hesitant to give each other compliments because I think maybe, and in LA, so much of the time people aren't saying their actual truths, or they're like trying to get something from you. And like, I give compliments so freely, and like I see that hesitance for people to accept it because I think they think it's fake. But like, I think getting a compliment like that in the acting space is such a meaningful moment, because it can feel so lonely that when someone like genuinely compliments you, it's like, wow, thank you.
I think in the acting Hollywood world, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been in spaces, not a lot, but I've been in spaces where things are happening, and I feel like the energy is a lot of, you gave me this compliment, what do you want from me? What do you now expect? Like, I was in a Disney music video as a child, and I have had a couple of people who were on that set with me reach out now being like, what are you doing now? Like, I'm thinking about getting back into acting. I'm like, I don't do anything in Hollywood. And then I never hear from them again. They don't follow up. We don't have a single follow-up conversation. So, like, it's a lot of, what do you want from me? And also maybe, like, not wanting to sound like a fan. Like, maybe not wanting to...
Yeah, like, giving away like your fan power.
Behavior, maybe.
Yeah. Which I think, like, kills collaboration. I think that's why, like... That's why the collaboration is so meaningful in the film industry and the acting space. It's like, because it can be so lonely that, like, if you're not collaborating, then, like, that's what's so fun about set, is, like, you get that moment. I think, like, so much of the loneliness is the auditioning, and that's when people get really competitive and isolated, even from themselves, I'd say.
And, you know, thinking about, like, compliments with performing and stuff, I, like, back to baton twirling, as I forget that that's, like, a creative endeavor of mine. But I remember I was teaching at this camp. And when you're a teacher at a camp, especially if you're either still competing or, like, you just retired, they want you to do a performance. They want you to, like, perform for the camp. Be like, oh, here's one of our instructors. Like, look how qualified they are. And I did a routine... which, this is always freestyle. This is always off the cuff. Like, you're never doing a competition routine as a performance. You don't have a routine mapped out. Everyone is winging it 100% of the time. Yeah. And I was no different. Right before I went out, I decided I was going to do mine to The Nights by Avicii, where it's like, Someday you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. And I was having so much fun twirling to this song. Like, I just like twirled how I wanted. I did 1, 2, 3 baton, like classic. I hit all the boxes and then I finished. And at the end of it, after the end of like the whole camp and all of us performed and did our things, one of the fathers of a baton twirler came up, which is really, really rare. Like dads, like baton twirling is such a like mother-daughter thing.
Yeah.
And one of the dads came up and he was like, I didn't really understand the baton thing. Like I didn't get it, but watching you perform, like watching you do that performance, like it makes sense to me now.
Wow. That gave me chills, actually. Like that's crazy.
Right?
Yeah. That's amazing.
Like, that's probably one of my all-time favorite compliments.
That's so meaningful.
Because I'm like, wow. It
like,
is.
That's so beautiful. Like, that's such a, wow. That's really, really cool. Ah.
I know. I was like, wow, I didn't expect this from you.
All right, your turn.
All right, question number 12. No? 11?
Yeah, 12.
11?
12.
12. Okay. Me, you. I think it's you. I think you're 12.
If you knew you had only a year left to live, what creative work would you most want to complete?
Oh, get out of my face. I wouldn't.
I know, it's too much pressure.
If I only had a year left to live, none of the things I have going on right now is enough for me to be like, this is so important. I must complete this creative endeavor before I lose my life. No, you know what I would do? I would drop off the grid. I would purely enjoy my time. I wouldn't think about monetizing any piece of what I've got going on.
Yeah.
I would relax. I would go to Disney World. I would go to the Bahamas. I would literally just enjoy my life. I am not about to stretch myself for the art that I've got going on right now. I would journal. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I have a book that my therapist recommended that literally is called, like, A Year to Live. So I've thought about this a bit. I think I'd really want to be in a play. Like, I think I would really want to be on stage. Not for the whole year, because I agree. I think so much of that year would be spending time with my family and doing, like, fun things that I enjoy, like experiencing nature, traveling. I think, like, I'd love to do Edinburgh Fringe. Like, I think I'd love to go to Scotland and, like, be in the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. I think, like, that would be, like, traveling, getting to be on stage. Yeah, I think that.
They also have a book festival.
See, that'd be just, and I loved Edinburgh. I loved it. And so I think, like, that's kind of what I'm thinking is, like, that's a tough question to answer, again, from an acting perspective. Because, like, of course, like, if I was already at the point in my career where it could be, like, I'd love to be on the National Theater and, like, get to do those plays and get to do, like, I don't know, Cymbeline, because, like, I love Cymbeline, the Shakespearean play. Or, like, Hamlet, you know. I'd love to be, like, Ophelia and Hamlet. But I think that's, again, this is one that we take very literally, where it's like, I don't necessarily also want to be across the world from my family in my final year of getting to live. So, like, let's say I have a time turner and I have a teleportation device to answer this question. But the one I would probably want to finish is my poetry book. Because, like, like I've said, I would want my friends to posthumously publish my poems, but I just don't think, no offense to any of you guys, I just don't think you'd do it the way I would do it. I don't think you'd curate them.
Well, I'm not. You don't think I got it? You don't think I got that za?
I think you got that za. I don't think you have my specific
You don't think I got that sauce? You don't think I got that poetry riz?
I think, hear me out.
Fuck you.
No, hear me out. I hand my poems to you and Michael, and you're like, both of you respond with, I don't really get poetry, but I liked it. And so if I'm handing off my poems to someone that's first statement is, I don't really get poetry. Like, I feel like I think it's indicative of the fact that years ago, I was talking about wanting to publish my poems and how I didn't know if I wanted to own all of the truths that live in my poems. And you said you could use it under a pen name. And I said, if I'm not ready to back my poems, they are not ready to be in the world on their own. Like, I want to have a hand in like birthing that baby. Like, that's my baby. Like, I want to, like, I think they're so meaningful that I do want to have a hand in doing that. And I think also what a beautiful look back on so many aspects of my life, and like my final year to live, what like a way to like gain clarity on so many different things and see how much I've grown. Like, I think that's one of my favorite things is like one of my poems catalogs like all of my like disordered eating and my struggles with that. And it's such a beautiful thing because I've got it timestamped to see like the journey of that and to see what beautiful changes happened and the ways they line up in my poetry. And like, I think that'd be a really cleansing project to do in my final year of life. But ultimately I'd love to be on stage and then like, I just think that's such a joyful aspect of like my life that where I feel so at home. But yeah, so stage or poetry book or both. With time also for my family and fun side quests because I have a time turner and teleportation device.
Yeah, I don't think I'm serious about art like that. I don't think I'm serious about creativity like that.
I think we'd record.
I'm like, this is all for funsies.
Would we record a finale episode if you were in your final year to live, or would too much?
Yeah, but I'd time it so that I'd die before I had to edit it.
You're gonna make me edit it alone?
Yeah. Eat my dust. Eat my ashes.
Eat my ashes? That's cannibalism. That's crazy. That's crazy. No. So I guess this would be the project you'd finish if you had a year to live.
God. Ugh.
We can't think about that.
I mean, this is fun.
Yeah, we can't stew on that thought.
Number 13. What emotion do you most often associate with your creative work? Excitement, frustration, joy, or something else? You're going to say something whimsical, aren't you?
I'm really thinking.
Wait, let me go. Let me see. Let me be you. Let me be you.
Okay, take it.
I feel such a mix of inspiration and joy, but there's also sadness in there. I think that's what really...
I hate you. I was gonna just fling myself off the building. It's not deeply far off. It's not super far off from what I was gonna say. I hate that because I was really thinking about like what is the percentage of like deep frustration versus joy.
I love a percent.
Like I know, I was like, you're actually gonna like this because I'm trying
the hoe's gonna love this.
Because I'm trying to be really objective about it. Because of course, when I'm thinking the good moments, the beautiful moments where things are flowing, I don't know. I just feel really intense focus. I think like I feel like I don't know exactly if joy would be
you get in the zone
correct. Yeah, I don't know if joy would be the correct word. Like what is the word I'm looking for?
You lock in. This is what I imagine actually for your switchboard. I imagine like inspiration in the form of like a spirit horse. Like running through your switchboard.
Yeah.
And then everyone is like, oh, and then the switchboard locks down and it's just like autopilot. And it's like,
yeah,
this is the thing that we are doing. And everyone just like automatically becomes a well-oiled machine in your brain. That is like, this is a task that we are now working on.
Yeah. I would say like I am very much a woman possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it's very in line with I'm not creating, I'm excavating, like I'm finding something. And then I'm like, oh, I found this thing. I must do it right now. Otherwise it's gonna disappear. Mm-hmm. But I guess I would say, man, that is so hard because so much art for me is being in that focused in the zone space where I don't necessarily have like conscious thought. But I would say joy. I'd say joy is probably the biggest one. And then that's why I was trying to think of the percentages because like of course there's so much frustration and like the societal impacts where I don't feel like I'm a good enough actor or a joke's not landing correctly in a script or I'm on the 11th draft of a script and I want to fling my laptop out of a window or I'm reading back a poem and I'm like, my God, that's so trite, that's so juvenile, that's so douchey, burn it, set it on fire. But I think most of the time it's joy, but not in joy in a way where like I'm so grounded that like my feet have sunk into the soil is how I would explain it. Where it's like joy because I'm fully connected to my creative forces and like my absolute truth. Like when I lose myself in an acting scene, I'm being 100% truthful. When I really get flow with a poem, I'm being 100% truthful, I think. I guess that's the answer. I feel honest. That would be the answer. Like what is the exact question? What emotions do you often associate with your creative work? Honesty. I think like when I'm really having the most fun is when I'm being 100% honest in whatever direction that means.
Wow.
Thanks. Wow, we found it.
Wow, wow, wow. You're so eloquent. You do great in interviews.
Thank you. I feel like I ramble like crazy.
No, you'd eat it up in an interview.
I appreciate that.
Buckle up. Me, I think actually that mine is almost pure excitement because I don't commit to creativity enough to let it become a frustrating thing. Like if it is frustrating, it's because I'm failing to be creative. I'm failing to create something and I'm getting frustrated. I'm pissed off. But like maybe the closest is, I think the hardest I've ever committed to a sustained creative endeavor is this podcast. Like editing and stuff. Yeah. If I was doing it solo, I would have given up immediately.
This is a 2-person job.
Immediately. Yeah. Like so quick, I can't even express to you how quickly I would have abandoned this project as a solo person.
Honestly, same.
Oh my gosh.
This is a 2-person job. Like this is not a 1-person job.
2-person job. It's so hard. It's so fun. It's exciting. It is joy. It is like big magic.
Yeah.
I would say like a lot of creating feels like big magic to me. And you know, I think I do need to commit to creative endeavors enough to be able to like allow for room for frustration and just like to push through that and be like, I'm frustrated and I'm sick of this, but I will continue.
I think you do that with this podcast.
Yeah. And, you know, I do with content creation micro levels, micro sustainable levels, primarily related to doing brand deals that I just can't, I just like am having a hard time with because I'm like, I can't just abandon this video. Like, I can't just be like, never mind.
I signed a contract. I have to do it.
Yeah, I signed a contract, so I have to do it. Like, that's the only time that I'm like, all right, let's go again. Like,
yeah. So funny.
But yeah, that's my answer.
Oh, this is an interesting question. If you could receive an anonymous letter of encouragement from someone, what would you want it to say?
Why is it anonymous? Is it because the person sending it to me is not credible?
That's a crazy first thought.
Okay, context. I used to write letters to myself. So I'm thinking like a letter from me versus some random stranger I don't know. Like, who do I want to hear? Like, what are you talking about?
I just love that was your first thought. It's so funny. Who do you, I guess it could be from you then, if you wanted it to be. Like, what do you want it to say? Or like, let's say it's someone like super credible. You don't know who it is, but you know for a fact that it's someone that you deeply respect, and it is super credible. I think they're just trying to be like, you don't need to assign a person to this letter. All right, fine.
You know what? I could be chill about it, right?
This isn't question 9.
I could be a chill guy.
We're not in danger.
I could be a chill guy. I think that maybe I would just want the letter of encouragement to be like, see, now I'm imagining someone from the future who just knows how to all work out.
That is what I also was thinking.
So I'm like, maybe they just tell me you're headed in the right direction. Like, just like the approach you're taking is the appropriate approach. Just basically being like, yeah, the way you're going about it, that's fine. You don't need to do a major life pivot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. No, I think that's good. I think this is another one of those ones that we're kind of going to rip through. I think for me, my first thought is, because I too have to assign an entity to the letter, I suppose. But I think for me, it would like be from the universe, I guess. If like I were to get an anonymous letter, like I'm thinking like in a magical sense. I think I would just love it if it said, you can trust yourself. You're doing the right things. I think like the reassurance of being like, you inherently know what is best for you. Like, please trust yourself. Like, I think that's what I would want it to say. It's
now,
like, yeah.
Now, what if we find out that this letter is just like literally from some random person who doesn't actually know anything definitive? Like you know what I mean?
I think I'd still love it.
Assuming.
I think if someone.
I like the.
I think if someone random that I don't know, a deeply uncredible source, wrote a little letter that said, trust yourself, you're on the right path, you know what to do, and put it in like a tree, and I found that letter, I think I'd hang it up still. I think I'd be like, wow, they're so right.
I think if I found it, then I'd be like, oh, serendipity smiled upon me. But if it was just like someone specifically sought me out to give me a letter, and it was just them being like, you got it. Not to be rude, okay? I'm not trying to be ungrateful or anything. Like, I love all of my sweet little DMs from everybody. I'm not equating this to that. I'm just saying, like if someone came up to me and was just like, you know, you keep on keeping on, I'd be like, how does that help me? I'll be keeping on. Like, what? It's not like a constructive criticism I can use. Like, I don't know what to do with this. Who are you? Like,
George
what?
Newman is
Do I look like I'm struggling?
Back.
Is that why you're saying this to me?
George Newman is taking the book back. Like, he's ripping it out of our hands. It's like, you don't get to read it.
It's like when we were teenagers and you were giving people compliments and I was like, you just be handing those things out like candy. I can't trust anything you say.
That's great. I know. This is what
I was like, oh, you're genuine. I don't know if that makes it worse.
I always got something to compliment. I do. For the sake of this question, similar to the 1 year left to live, with me with my time turner and my teleportation device, this is a letter from the universe. Literally.
Okay.
Yes, this is an anonymous letter from, like, the universe itself, I think.
All right.
I think it has to be because we are too literal.
We are.
Yeah. I think our letters were really beautiful.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I guess death to any fan DMs ever again. They're going to be like, these bitches.
No, I like though when it's like, this episode really helped me in this way. Or I like this about you guys. Or audio was bad. No like. Like, I love the feedback.
Yeah.
I don't like it when it's cryptic. When it's like,
hey,
cryptic. Keep that chin up. Like, you know.
No, I do agree.
I don't like that.
I do agree, actually, with that sentiment. That's why I was like, I gotta put a rule on this one. This is the universe talking to us. Because I also, if someone comes up to me and is like, hey, you're doing a really good job today, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing that made you think I was having a bad day?
Right.
Like, what is happening?
Right. Like, does it look like I'm on the verge of tears? Like, what have we decided right now?
I'd be like, I'm good. Are you good? I'm like,
awesome. All right. 15.
Okay. Yes.
Number
it's
15.
You. It's an odd number.
We're so close.
Wow.
What's the most personal thing you've ever put into your creative work? Oh, great.
What have I not?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like what have I
know.
Yeah, what have I not?
Your creative work is literally just taking your soul and reshaping it for whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
And always and constantly.
I'm also thinking like poetry, just literally every bad thing that has ever occurred, self-inflicted or otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in raw, visceral, honest, evocative language. And then I would agree, I would agree with that too with acting, is like it's properly just like reshaping. Like I don't think there's anything personal I have not put into my creative work.
1,000%.
Yeah. That's my answer.
For me, basically nothing is sacred. So
yeah, we both just kind of
yeah. You take it way more serious though. Like once again, I think I just abuse my personal self. I'm like, you have no secrets, tell the internet. I'm like, Okay, you know what? This is where baton's going to come in again. So, when I did competitive baton twirling, I was in the NBTA organization. There's three main organizations, NBTA, USTA, and DMA, question mark. USTA and NBTA are now one. They have now combined. I think. I don't keep up. But in NBTA, which is where I was, doing my thing, there's the Miss Majorette of America pageants. And if you won your division, you could not compete in that division anymore. And the two oldest divisions, which were 16 plus and collegiate, when you won that, you did a farewell performance because you just did. You at the big show, it's like the end of the whole week of nationals. They're doing the final everything. Like you get to go out on the floor and you do a performance, and it's just basically being like it's like a farewell to your baton twirling career. Like historically, just like you were done after that. Not to toot my own horn, but I got to do 2 farewell performances
as
I
you
won
should.
16 plus and collegiate. But for 16 plus, my coaches they they coordinated that one. They choreographed that one. And then for collegiate, I took the reins on that one, which at this point, I wasn't really used to making decisions. But I was like, you know what? No, this one's going to be personal to me. And there was specifically at the very end where I wanted to kind of just like give a nod to all of the world championships that I had competed at throughout my career. I competed in the Netherlands when I was 8. I competed in Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, Norway. And I wanted to just like showcase that. So I had a couple of my teammates come out and they each held a flag from each of these countries that I had competed in. And the song by One Direction played where it's like, "Don't Forget Where You Belong."
Yeah.
And they formed this like half circle. And so it was just like, it was that part of the song where it was like, "Don't forget where you belong. Oh, don't forget where you belong." And One Direction was also so personal to us. And like, I did a little twirly thing in that half circle. And as I passed each of my teammates, they like dropped the flag. They like unveiled the flag. And it was just like the perfect timing with like the song from my favorite band of all time. And it was just like, it felt so true to my heart of like the performance, the thing that I had coordinated was exactly what I wanted it to be. And so I feel like, especially in the baton twirling space, because it is such a tight-knit community, but like everyone's really critical, like not in a like, ooh, everyone's so critical, but it's a girl sport. What do you expect? Yeah. And I just felt like such a like my most true self in that performance, I would say. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the most personal things I've ever put in my creative work.
That was so beautiful, genuinely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Baton twirling, man.
I know.
Baton twirling really gets it.
No, it does. Like that, like, honestly, like, could have cried. That's, like, I could, like, see it as you were describing it. Like, it was, like, really, really beautiful. So that's really special and personal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, something else about that performance, too. In the beginning, because I'm tied right now for the most wins for Miss Majorettes of America in the advanced division in MBTA. I had this like picture frame that I had, again, my teammates, because I had younger teammates in each division, they all came out wearing a pageant dress. And like, it was kind of like the storytelling of my twirling career, of the announcement being like, your tiny tot Miss Majorette of America 2004, Rebecca Lance, your juvenile Miss Majorette of America, whatever year it was, Rebecca Lance. Like, and it was all like, again, taking it through my, like, I have been twirling since I was 2.5. And like, these are the things that I have done in my time. Like, it was so good. I like really thought about it.
That's beautiful. That is so personal. That's such that's such a love letter to like your entire baton twirling career. Like, that's so special. And
the funniest part of that is like the twirling that I did in that performance was total garbage.
That wasn't the point of the performance.
I'm gonna plug the video actually because it is on YouTube. But
lol.
It was truly such garbage baton twirling, because I was supposed to set up batons. The batons weren't there because we did a last minute change that totally bit me in the butt, and I ended up twirling random batons. Okay, not every baton is the same length. Like, you have to twirl the baton that's the length a little bit longer than your own arm. It was such a nightmare. For the first half of that performance, the moment I start twirling multiple batons, I am not twirling my batons. I'm twirling someone else's batons, and they're too big for me, and you can tell, and I do a bad job at twirling. So I'm going to plug this video, okay? But don't watch it and be like, this girl did all this stuff. That was probably my worst baton twirling performance. Think about the art, though.
You had the bad tools. Oh, my God.
Think about the meaning behind it.
Why did you have the wrong batons?
I did. Well, okay, so the intro, I think it was something like, this Rebecca, whatever, and I like run out of the tunnel and I like slide or do something, and I don't start on the floor, and usually I would start on the floor, so I would set out the batons and you go to your spot and like all your stuff's where you need it to be. But they were like, oh, how cool would it be if you didn't start on the floor? What if you didn't do that? So no, I didn't set up batons. Nobody set up batons. Batons weren't there. We had no batons. No batons were on the floor. And I started doing my routine, and then when it was finally time to pick up a baton, I was like, there's nothing here.
There's nothing here?
I think I ran into the tunnel, actually, because we were in the Notre Dame basketball arena. I think I run into a tunnel, and I pick up random stranger batons. I don't ask. I just grab the
That's
nearest batons that I saw in a baton bag
crazy.
in the tunnel. And I ran back out, and that's what I twirled with. And I just said, guess this is going to be it.
That's insane.
And, actually, I think my teammate who helped me, I think he ran into the tunnel. I don't know. Either way, I was twirling batons that were mine.
That's crazy.
We didn't even get to ask. We didn't even go, can we use your batons? We just said, I'll be using these.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, at that point.
Exactly. It was so funny. But yeah, that's it. Period. That's it. Period.
Yeah, I don't
That
have
was a
much.
long one.
Yeah, I don't have much expounding on my personal stuff in art either.
No.
I think it's just like that's the long and short of it. Like, yeah, yours is so beautiful. I love it. I want to leave it at that. Question 16. What's the biggest creative dream or ambition you've had but never shared with anyone?
Pass. I don't have one.
No, I think I have one, but I don't think it's like attainable. I guess that's what the point of this question is. Like, I would love to like be in a musical on Broadway. Like, I love being in musicals. I love singing. I love dancing. I love acting. Like, that one's one that I just don't typically bring up because, like, I went to an acting college, and in the acting college, there were dance majors, there were musical theater majors, there was acting majors. And so, like, as an acting major, I was like, I'm not going to bring up the fact that I love being in musicals. Like, these people are studying to be in musicals. Feels weird for me to bring that up. But, like, I do. I love it. I love it so very much. I think musicals have such a beautiful thing to them where when the emotion is too powerful, you sing. That's the whole thing with, like, a song. And, like, in a good musical with, like, a good actor. The song should never feel random. It's that the emotion is just so powerful that, like, words can no longer convey it alone. And it has to be music. And I think, like, again, that's something that I kind of feel with poetry where I'm like, it's when an emotion demands to be a tangible thing. And I think, like, that's the similar thing with song. And so I don't know. I think, like, I love absurdist acting. And I think musicals are such, like, a different version of acting in and of themselves. They've got such a specificity, such a stylized aspect to them that I really, really love. I think that musical theater actors have so much fun. I think it's such a, like, again, marrying the, like, intellectual and emotional with the physical because you have to do the dancing and it's such, like, it's such a treat. Like, that is one that I like, even if it was, like, me or, like, even, like, me voice acting in a musical animated show. Like, I'd love to sing and act at the same time. I think that's the heart of that for me.
See, I think it's not unattainable at all. I don't think it's, like, audacious or unattainable or, like, a reach because I feel like so many big stars, like actors, like Daniel Radcliffe and Anna Kendrick and, I don't know, just, like, so many people, like, Broadway's almost a natural progression. Well,
Anna Kendrick
if you're interested in Broadway as a famous actor.
Well, she started on Broadway. Sorry, I just want to.
Yeah,
sorry,
but I
you
guess,
picked
like,
from
she was
hat.
a kid. I feel like a lot of famous kids, who grow up to be actors, like, they start on Broadway.
Yeah.
Crazy progression. But, like, I just feel like it's a horseshoe. I feel like maybe that's just me being like, anything can be anything, but I feel like any famous actor who has wanted to be on Broadway has done that.
That's true.
Like, it's been just a thing that they could do, and nobody's been like, hey, you stay on the big screen.
Yeah,
like,
get out of here. No, like, I think, like, I would really love to do that. I think that's why, like, singing too is one of those. I could have added it into one of the previous questions where it's like, what is something that you felt was, like, too ambitious? Like, really getting good at singing is another one for me where it's like, that's a project that I shy away from a lot of the time. But, like, I love singing. Like, I have so much fun doing it. So, well, that makes me feel better. Thank you for saying I have a shot on Broadway.
I think you do. And I think that number 16 has shown me that, like, I think that I maybe need to be a bit more ambitious with my creative dreams. I think that not being ambitious actually is a hindrance. Like, I say all the time that I'm not an ambitious person because I'm really not. It feels like such a lie. Like, oh my God, I'm, like, not even trying. But, like, for career stuff, I go where I do well. I like to follow what I'm good at, and I know a lot of really good people who are like, you are good at these things, let me put you in these places. And I find myself ending up where I need to be. Yeah. And similarly with content creation and things like that, I'm like, I'll just pull on the thread and I'll just see where the thread goes. Like, I don't know what this thread is connected to. I'm not pulling on this thread because I think it'll yank down this thing. Like, I'm just I see the thread, I like the thread, I pull the thread. We follow the thread.
It's a nice thread.
I don't have a grand plan, but I think that having a grand plan, having these big things that we're aiming for, help us to find the direction, help us to find the path that we need to be on. And I always say, like, if you're working really hard, but you don't know what you're working for, then you're just running in place.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think I'm just running in place. Like, ugh.
I think that's an
You know what? I do
undersell.
like a good treadmill, though.
That's true. And I was going to say, I think that's an undersell. I think you are very hard on yourself. I think you are incredibly ambitious, but I hear what you're saying. It falls in a similar line with what you were saying about wanting to be passionate about something, to have to fight through the frustration, to let it be something that is frustrating. So I think it's like, I think that's something you had, though. Taking it back to Baton, I think, like, with Baton, like, that was a creative thing that, like, was a source of joy and immense frustration. And I think, like, that's absolutely something you have done and do and will continue to do in life. But, like, I do hear what you're saying, where I think, like, that's going to be a fun thing for you to, like, look into and explore. Because I think, like, again, you're being too hard on yourself. I think you're, like, very ambitious, and, like, there are just different ways to do it. But I think, like, the emotional stakes heightening is what I'm hearing, like, you want. Yeah,
all right. No, these were, like, really interesting questions.
I loved this.
And I love that they humanized the author.
We sure humanized the author, is what we did.
Yeah. We went through this. We went, George, what do you mean by that?
It's like, George, what are you talking about? Are you a neurotypical white man? I just want to know.
Yeah. Give me your background. Give me your history.
Yeah.
What are your parents like? So I can get a gauge as to where we're coming from.
Yeah.
But it's also saying, like inspired by psychologist Arthur Aaron's famous set of questions. Yeah. So, like, maybe Arthur Aaron is to blame for some of these.
He's to blame. Like, they're ripping the book out of our hands. You don't get to read it anymore.
No, I like it. I like this book. I like it. Look into it, for real. I like this book. Okay, I'm going to plug it a little bit, too, because this book approaches creativity in a way that I like. It talks about creativity like it's a skill to be flexed, to be honed, to be worked on, to be developed. And that's what I like, because that means I have control. And I love nothing more than finding out that I have control over things. Yeah. So, if you, too, want to flex your muscle of creativity, I recommend this book, How Great Ideas Happen: The Hidden Steps Behind Breakthrough Success by George Newman. I liked it. I'm interested. I'm on chapter 3.
I also like the fact that, like, not even
actually,
just,
I finished
like,
chapter 3.
You having control, though, like, that's so nice to have. Like, I love a book that's like, this is not something that, like, you had to be born with. I feel like that's such a, like, hard thing for people to be like, I wasn't born with that thing, you know, creativity, so I just don't have it. Like, this is, like, actionable steps. It's like, it's a skill you can learn. It's something you can improve at. Like, I love knowing that, like, you can improve at things. So any book that does that, I think it's a win.
Agreed. And there's a little touch of whimsy in here, which always takes, like, a book from good to great, in my opinion. Yeah. Is if we got a touch of whimsy, and I'd say this book does.
Yeah. And with that, I think we can jump into our shameless plugs. You can find me on Instagram at IamEmmaBruno2, that's T-O-O, and on TikTok at IamEmmaBruno.
And you can find me on Instagram at r.sowden.money, and you can find me on TikTok and YouTube at rebecca.sowden.
You can find our podcast on Instagram at Life in Quarters Pod.
And you can listen to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. For example, where are you listening to this podcast right now?
Magic.